Hello, welcome back to Universal Love Law. Um, I'm going to discuss the dark-sided Cancer energy, and I'm not going to be specifically talking about male or female in this video. I'm going to just talk about the more negative characteristic traits of the Cancerian energy. So I want to give a announcement that first and foremost, when I talk about this dark-sided energy, it's not for everyone, especially you cancers. You're extremely sensitive. I'm a Cancer moon, so I actually know how that can be. But I want you guys to definitely just be aware that this is not for all cancers. There are a lot of great positive attributes to the characteristics that may manifest in the Cancer energy signature. So we're not talking about everyone. Now, there may be some things you can take from this, and there may be things that you might not. It's all about the integrity you have in yourself and being honest and being aware of your own self, observant of your own self. Another thing is, you may see these characteristic traits in other people, and you don't want to over exaggerate, like, yeah, they did all that. Be real about the characteristics traits that you see and what you don't see. It's just about honesty and realization, because this is how we solve problems. When we're able to see it's a problem, like, okay, they're saying it's a problem. If three people telling me it's a problem, it must be a problem. Like, so that's when we must become more aware and just actually just be honest with ourselves about it. So let's jump into this Cancer energy. Now, the Cancer is the water. It's cardinal water, so it likes to initiate feelings, and it is very good at that, even if it's a very negative way. So it's cardinal water. It initiates emotions. So these people can be extremely moody. The darker Cancer people can be very moody, and a lot of people could attest to this, and they can just be very stern. Like, you could be around a Cancer older person that's jaded and had a lot of experiences in life that cause them to be more negative, and they can just be downright mean. Like, some of them can be very nice and nurturing and motherly or fatherly, like, but those jaded Cancers, you feel the anger within them. They hold resentment, and they don't forget anything. Cancer rules memory. And it deals with those instincts of like early experiences. So everything that so Cancers are more prone to being jaded, as well as its counterpart, the opposite, Capricorn. They are more prone to being jaded. They deal with that memory aspect. They don't forget things. And so the Cancer energy, they don't forget anything, and so they can be very triggered by things that a person they know do, and not realize that that person is triggering them. Or the person might not know, excuse me, that they're triggering the Cancer, the darker side of Cancer, and their reactions are usually very calculated and manipulative, because they share that energy with the Capricorn. They share that manipulation, and they like to emotionally manipulate people. They like to conjure up energy and mope and sit in this depression energy, this very sad energy that they don't like to let anyone in to help them heal. They will sit there and literally sit in depression and that sorrow with not wanting anyone to help them, when all the tools and everything that they need to help them achieve or grow out of it, they will not want to take it into consideration. They will just completely stay in that moping negative energy. And a lot of that is because they don't forget, and they're very self-sacrificing. They're driven from emotions. So they can have a very unhealthy relationship with food, kind of like that tourist. Like, they like to feel the void within themselves. The more negative Cancer energy, like the more positive Cancer energy, they will be aware of their negativity. Like they would just be completely aware of it as it's happening. No, now the negative cancers, they will not become aware of it. You know, they will initiate a reason. Remember that cardinal energy. They will always have a reason behind why they're doing what they're doing and why it should be justified and why you should understand. And that's just something that they just don't have any problem with. Like they just don't have any problem with justifying their emotions. Um, they can be very revengeful, kind of like the Scorpio energy. And that's because they don't forget what people do to them and they're driven off of emotion, remember? So these people can be very prejudiced. A lot of Cancer women that I know, even men, they could be very judgmental on the way you carry yourself, like, look how she dressing, or look how they, I see them. Like they could be very judgmental, and very prejudiced against people that are not in their class. These people can be come from the ghetto and make it to a certain level and be very prejudiced, like they shit don't stink. Excuse me, not to cuss, but they'll literally act like they stuff don't stink, and they do that because they can be very materialistic like their counterpart Capricorn when they're debilitated. Remember, the insecure Cancer, they need things to fulfill this void. It's like a dark hole with the Cancer debilitated sign. Like the dark sided Cancer, they're going to be fulfilling this dark hole that runs very deep, shadow aspects of themselves that run very deep. And if they have aspects that are square to like Neptune and South Node, they can be drug addicts, they can be bingeful, like they can binge. Another thing, just like how they can have a very negative relationship with food, they can have a very negative relationship with anything that kind of just like blinds them from the reality of life. And these people could be very driven for relationships as well. Like the Cancer man could be very jealous, very obsessive, very controlling, as well as the Cancer woman can be extremely jealous, extremely driven by love and rage and revenge if they're hurt in relationships. So it's very important for them to be mindful. Like dark-sided Cancer energy when it comes to relationship, if a person has that, these people really need psychology. Like they not psychology, a psychologist. They need to sit down and talk about their problems because they have a shell that they put up to protect people from coming in. But what happens when you are dealing with all of these stuff internally? It becomes a void that needs to be filled. And this is where the negative aspect that these people could be criminals, fraud. These people can mask their life and they really do insecurity very well. Like these dark-sided Cancer people are very well at they can be so insecure from the voids that they have, that they can like try to shit on other people. Literally, like, I'm gonna show you I'm better than you. Like they can have the latest this, the latest that. They're into brands and they share that correlation to Capricorn energy. That's their opposite. That's something that they can kind of possess. But that's when they're negative. They're not supposed to be doing that. Like dark-sided Cancers, they do that because they're insecure. They're fulfilling a void. They have problems that they do not want to face and they don't want to share. And sometimes it really just takes for them to break down and share. But that becomes the hardest thing because the jaded Cancer people, they become prideful and they are the Cancer crab. Their shell is unbreakable. Like these people are just once it's over for them, it's over for them. And they can be quitters early on. Like when they are suffering from a lot of insecurities, they can say, I don't want to do this, and become emotionally driven on quitting. Nobody can talk them into doing it. Like, come on, let's do it. Like even as a kid, like you'll have a Cancer friend and they're losing the game and they will quit the game and never play again. Every time you play, they be like, I don't play that. Like they just become like just weak to it. Like, and it becomes a part of their void and becomes a part of their insecurities. These people hoard. They have a very big problem with hoarding things because they don't like to let go of memories. And it can be little things like napkin from a birthday party, okay? Or like things that you don't need, but for some reason, if it's holding up, even if it's not, like they could have clothes from when they were in high school or like adults, like they could have things from years and years ago that they don't need, a treasure chest full of all the things they had when they were kids. Like, you don't need that. Like, you could let it go, you really don't. Or like, you could be resourceful and share it and give it to someone in your family, but they could be extremely possessive of their things in a sense where they just want to hold on to it for the sole purpose of just having it, and reminiscing. And they could get very drunk in love. They could get these people they're actually good at controlling their addictions. They are so strongly kind of mentally messed up from their emotions that the drugs aren't like the drugs aren't even enough. They have such a strong, powerful connection to life and reality based on their emotional insecurities that even drugs ain't even enough. Alcohol ain't even enough. That blackout drunk stuff ain't even enough. So they can just become hardened over time, and they cannot trust people, have very bad trust issues, and they can always think someone's judging them, or they can always be judging other people. And so that's the more negative, side. They could be very clingy to people, like as if they're gonna lose them because they may have lost people in the past, especially a person that have a lot of family and is wealthy in that way, where they have a lot of family members and things. And then once family members start kind of dying off, they can become very clingy to the ones they do have. Also with the Cancer energy, sometimes very traumatic experiences can turn them into a very dark person and make them do dark things because they think in a very negative thought process. Dark as in criminal. So these people can be criminals, but not based on, not coming from a standpoint like a mental satisfaction, like I was able to outsmart these people, like Gemini, or like Aries, where they're like, I'm able to intimidate this person or inflict this fear in them. No, they're more so the Cancer negative dark sided, they're doing it to fill a void of insecurity. So they want to be very tough. These people can be bullies. They want to be very tough to fill that void. It's always roots back to their emotional instability, imbalance. That's what it always roots back to whenever they do things. Like if you start asking them questions about why they are doing it, they're not gonna break it down like, oh, this is why I'm doing it, and you could do it. Da, 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 da. No, they're gonna become emotional and wanna attack. They're gonna be like, why are you asking me these questions about myself? Or like, like why? Like they're gonna begin to become defensive because they're doing it out of a place of insecurity. They're not natural criminals. They are natural nurturers and lovers. And if they're resorting to criminal ways, it's to fulfill a void within them, to be that bad girl that gets that attention, or bad boy that gets that attention because they're secretly suffering inside. A lot of them, when they have problems and issues with relationships in life and things, they want to boast and brag about how tough they are because they don't feel tough. Inside, they're just really soft and mushy. And they can be, of course, everyone knows, very passive aggressive. You may be having a conversation with them, and if you may have said something the wrong way with them, they might not tell you that, that you may have hurt their feelings, But they'll show you eventually if the conversation will start turning towards like a different way, because they initiate, they're cardinal, so they initiate their emotions and feelings. Like the Libra, they initiate the way the conversation is going to go. That's how the Cancer energy is. They're going to initiate the conversation based on their emotions. You rub them the wrong way, they're going to be like, huh, like what, like what side, whose side you on? Then once they feel that way, okay, now they okay. And they can also have very negative relationships with their mother secretly, or the mother figures in their life when they're very jaded. This is some, not all. Some of the challenges come from just bad experiences with partners, being in love, all that can. Like I say, the Cancer energy and Capricorn energy, they're easily jaded because they are dealing with these issues that cause depression so easily. Like life's naturally going to hand you lemons, and these people have like they really need support systems. They really need good positive influences and role models in their life so they can see how to overcome these adversities, right? So, and they need reassurance. The more jaded, dark-sided cancers, they need reassurance that they're doing the right thing and they look good and you fine and all that. They need that. And yeah, so yeah, okay, so I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please let me know if you know anyone or if you have experienced any of these experiences. I have a Cancer moon, so some of these things I've definitely experienced. We're not here to throw shade or jade others. We're here to just be aware that these are the actual energy signatures of the signs. So it's so scary. It's true that signs have and possess these darker sides. So I think it's an awareness and a learning experiences for us all, because we can learn from our dark side and our dark nature, and there's something to be learned from these harder aspects, right? And so yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and